Excellent. So welcome on board. And as we already shared some information before the time, um, this is the sixth discussion of Amistad. And Amistad, as we shared the information, is a newborn organization that was founded during the pandemic of COVID-19. We decided with our different consultants in the world, to fund Amistad, which vision is to bring reflections together associated with actions to help underprivileged communities somehow. So we had several discussions already, and this one is actually the sixth, and we are so happy to have you on board as panelists. So as you know already, the discussion is on property perceptions and realities and water resource management. So I will be admitting the different participants very soon, and I'm happy that we already met as we are going to conduct everything. So I shared also this morning the order of passage of the different panelists, but I'm afraid Coach Samuel Pierre is not yet connected, and he was supposed to be the first one to, let's say, intervene. So maybe this order will change a little bit with the second, who is Elge. So if you have anything to to understand, maybe we can put that out, and then right after we get the other people inside. Do you have any question? All right, so I'll start putting admitting the others. Good. All right, so welcome on board, everyone. We are so happy to meet you. Those who are here for the first time, this is a wonderful platform, founded during the pandemic of COVID, called Amistad. So this is the sixth discussion of Amistad, and the topic of today is property perceptions or realities and water resource management. So we're waiting a little bit for those who have not got chance to get in, maybe in three minutes before we start. So by then, if maybe everyone can, I guess, we have some people from other countries. So if we can introduce ourselves to each other, maybe just introduction, name, country, and yeah, before the others jump in. So maybe we start with Elge.
Shall I make the start? Shall we begin?
Please.
Everybody in there?
Yeah, everybody in there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, welcome very much. It was my idea to talk about this theme today, and this is a result of 1 year debates that we are talking today about property, what it is the meaning of property and what it's the meaning for water resource management. About myself first, I am from Germany. I'm 57 years old. Yes, I worked for 10 years as an engineer in software management for newspapers. And in 2007, I gave up my job and became a teacher. And after 5 years studies, I'm teaching pupils today from who are coming from special social environment, and yeah, I have a very large, very divided background from different points. So, and yeah, I'm project.
We are already. Yeah, no,
Musa, can you turn off your mic for a moment? Okay. Now I'm project manager by the wish of Musa Kone, who is our leader of the Amistad and founder of Amistad, and we have a lot of projects. And maybe today we will find a good idea for a new project that will be based on water resource management. And we have, I heard we have a very perfect experts today here on board. So I'm very, very curious to hear and very excited to hear about what is going on today. About the theme today, why did I suggest this theme? Now I detected, for example, in Germany, if you have a house and you rent it for some tourists in Iceland, the tourist has to pay for it for 4 weeks and then he can return. And then in COVID-19 crisis, some people had no money and they were the tourist industry, the tourist business was down completely because nobody was allowed to go here and there and go to vacation and travel anymore. So some people decided to go into a house that was not their property, and they spent 4 weeks in the house, or 6 or 2 months, and then after some time, after the owner detected that there's somebody in this house and is not asking for paying rent or anything, the police decided to go there, and they had to leave the house because it is a property. It is the property of the one who has built the house, or if the one sells the house, the other one who has bought the house is the owner of the house. And this is until he dies, you know. So in Africa, this is another situation. If somebody is living in a house for 4 weeks, it is no question for the property. It is a question if he needs the house, and if the law is the law of the usage of the house. You know, after 4 weeks, this person, this family, nobody can go there and say it is not right that they are living in the house, because everybody will say, and the justice will say, the house was empty, somebody needs the house, and if he lives there for 4 weeks, the owner can't pull them out. He just can't. This is a complete different traditional understanding of righteousness in Africa than in Europe, for example, and in USA as well. So the previous problem that we have and will have in the world, and with earth warming and in Africa, will be water resources, because water is even becoming more essential than oil or anything else. and already, however, the technical situation have become better and better. The water resource situation becomes worse and worse still, because the earth warming brings us all together into a serious situation, and it is just been yesterday that Biden, Putin, the Chinese leader, and the European leaders all have come together to talk about the global future in questions of the environment and questions of the global warming. So this is will be one of the central themes that will be all concerned. So I was checking what can be done, and I found some information about sand dams. I will copy the link. I wrote something, or I collected some information about how to build a sand dam. I'll hurry. I will hurry.
Okay. No, have you started already?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Of course.
Okay.
I asked you if you are starting.
I was thinking of an introduction. Just say, the name and where you come from, and then, because I will appreciate reading the bios, of the different panelists before we get in. So
okay.
Coach Samuel is already there too.
Okay, shall I begin once more?
Oh, maybe we can follow the normal order now. Like I said.
Let him finish now.
Okay. So
thank you.
Okay, no
thank
problem.
You. So now, thank you very much. I sent this link now, and I detected that nobody knows what is a sand dam. Nobody in Europe, nobody in Africa really knows what is a sand dam. But if you read about the sand dam, you will get to know water resource management needs a lot of common activities and cooperative and co-constructive work of different people, and it has also a meaning to the property, because if you want organized really good water resource management, you need to coordinate the property of more peoples, of more villages, even of a whole country. And then you are very fast in the question, whose property is the land and whose property is the water? And then, and I think this should be the base of our discussion. And now coming back to the beginning, we hope today that we will find an idea how to and where to start a project for water resource management, and where can we invest our forces and put our investigation in, so that we make an effort in these questions. Okay, this is about what is in my head, what was my idea, and what I think we might talk about. If you have another perspective, maybe from 180 degrees from the other side than me or another person, we welcome everyone's meaning and everyone's perspective, because this even we are not sitting in the right position with our chair, because I know there are some people sitting on top on head, because it is the other side of this planet. So let us consider that the world is very large and that we are very different altogether, and this debate, the meaning of this debate will be to bring together all points of view about this question. Okay, thank you very much. And I hope we will have a very good debate and a very good result today.
Excellent. So congratulations on this wonderful intervention. Thank you, Elge, for your bright ideas, and you're willing to to bring a certain action in this domain. So before the next panelist, I would like to read the bio of Elge, so that we go with no transition with the next person. So I hope everyone sees my screen. So Elge Stenzel was born in 1964, is Christian and married with no children. In 1984, he refused to go to military and did civil service instead. His first profession was a printer, and later he spent about 10 years in working as a tutor and programmer for newspapers, digital equipment, IT services. In 2007, he gave up this job to study again and became a teacher. Today, he does tutoring and teaching people who have special conditions in the social environment. So this is Elge. So I will read with no transition the bio of Coach Samuel Pierre. And I think if someone has to present, finally we'll read his bio, okay, instead of reading all them before, the whole session. So Samuel Enga Pierre is an African-American who was born and raised in Sierra Leone. He migrated to the US for further studies in biological sciences and public health. He believes that it takes a village to raise a child, and that he is, because we are. Samuel, upon successful completion of graduate degree, Master of Public Health at the University of Michigan, he helped develop an undergraduate program in environmental health at the Mississippi Valley State University. The program became accredited by the National Environmental Health Association in 1980 before responding to a call from his parents to return and support them in Sierra Leone, where life and living were challenging their daily lives. Samuel is currently manager of COVID-19 pandemic task force, Shelby County in Tennessee, United States. So, Coach Samuel.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, President Kone and everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach.
Yeah, were you able to upload my presentation?
Oh, yeah.
The Geminis do?
Okay, so you
well,
want me
ladies and gentlemen.
You want me to share it now?
Well, if whenever you have time for me to start, yeah.
Okay. Okay, maybe you start.
While that is going.
Mm-hmm. You start, and then the time for me to get it ready.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, while that's going on, I can continue. I can start talking. The topic: property perceptions or realities and water resource management. I think these are valuable references for all of us. And what I've done is to briefly describe what perceptions are and what realities are. The first clip shows you two people looking at a number 9. If you write number 9 on the board or on the floor and let two people from different sides look at it, their perceptions will be different. It's not a uniform understanding. Perception, one person will see number 9 as being number 9, whereas the opposite person will see number 9 as a 6. Okay. Sometimes you see somebody looking at a bottle that has red juice in it, and that red juice looks like hot pepper, whereas somebody else will think something different is in that. So those are the two examples I want you to just look at to understand what perception really is. And perception is the organization, identification, and interpretation of sensory information in order to represent and understand the presented information or the environment. Let us look at it. You have your glasses on, you look at the world, your perception may be completely different from mine. But over time, that perception will be changed. For example, those who first started writing about the world said the world is round. Well, based on what they know, based on their knowledge, based on their attitude, and based on what they have been around, they thought the world is round, is flat. But now we know that the world is round. You can move from point A to point B and come back to the same point. Reality is something that a lot of times we have to really experience it, but it is a sum or aggregate of all that is real or existing within a system, as opposed to that which is only imaginary. For example, the reality is, we know that what goes up will fall down on the ground. But over time, because of research and practice, we found out that, hey, you can keep the airplane up thousands of feet, thousands of miles, and it will stay there until you want to bring it down. So that's the reality. We have social reality, we have constructive reality, and we have all kinds of realities. But in summary, I just put, if you look at the next page, it shows you the things that hold perceptions and realities in place in the human world. Those 3 legs are very important. And I want all of us to know that if we can have enough knowledge, if you can have enough attitude, if you can move that up a little bit so that we can see the legs, the 3 legs under those 3, thank you. The knowledge, the attitude, and the behavior, what you do in your daily life. If you can look at these 3 legs, they have to be integrated and complementing of each other for more beneficial outcomes. So that's why management is very important. Management of our knowledge, management of our attitude, management of our behavior. When appropriately managed, we will empower individuals and the entire population to become appropriately and functionally prosperous. But if we cannot manage our knowledge, we do not manage our attitude or behavior, we will not transform ourselves or our societies. Property is very important. In this world, property can be a natural property, or it can be a technological property, or a legal property. Most villages really have the natural property. Your village, your houses, or your rivers, where you go and take a bath, or where you go to collect water to drink. These are natural properties. The technological properties are like WhatsApp, or the various types of technological applications, words, or just the internet, for example. You know, people possess ownership or take ownership of internet services. You have different types of businesses who have already taken control of certain services of internet. But what belongs to or with something, whether as an attribute or as a component of said thing, belonging, or the things that is within your own reach, or anything that a person, a community, or government or business had legal title of. Sometimes we can say, well, this is a tangible property, like your house, your car. But there are also other intangible properties with promise for a future worth. You may have a land, but if you've not exploited that land with all the mineral resources inside that land or that earth, you know, so that you can access the worth of it, it's not going to help you transform yourselves. We have most of the legalities set in place by international organizations, whether it is the UN or UNESCO, which was founded in 1945 in London, and then they put the headquarters in France. And I'm sure most of you know what UNESCO is: United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. Mainly their emphasis was to promote world peace and security through cooperation in education, science, and culture. Now, could you imagine if UNESCO has been doing their work for peace and security through cooperations in education, science, and culture? If we could just look at those three things, education, science, and culture, and apply it to water resource management in any African country, you will appreciate the fact that we could have been light years away from where we are at this point. Inappropriate use of knowledge, attitude, and behavior generally has a tendency to enslave us or destroy human beings and communities. And I hope that our discussions and activities in this group will encourage and motivate all of us to pay attention to what is inappropriate and what is appropriate use of those three-legged items I highlighted: knowledge, attitude, and behavior. If we can really manage those three aspects, we can transform not only ourselves, but our societies. If we can use the knowledge from education, science, and our cultural assets, if we manage it appropriately and properly, we can transform our rural communities. We can transform our schools. We can transform our natural resources. And I did send an attachment of a brief summary proposal of a rural water supply project. And I hope each person will take time to look at it. I don't want to go into that because the time is limited. But I had a concept with the American University and Jala University to develop a concept which we called WORK, W-O-R-K, Water Optimization in Rural Communities. How do you optimize the benefits from the natural water which God has given us so abundantly? There are other properties that you can develop or you can add value to, like the sunlight. Most Africa has more light than any other part of the world, but we have never used it to develop our sustainability. We have never used it to increase our productivity. But now we are seeing that people are looking at solar energy or solar light as something. But let's look and concentrate on this water optimization in rural communities. what can we do with the water that we have, whether it is the rainwater or the underground water. Let us develop partnerships with NGOs who are friendly and respectful of our partnership so that we can all benefit from whatever investment is done in those. Let us collaborate with local, regional, national, or international agencies, and let us collaborate with business owners and foundations. Together, we can make a difference. And I hope that this symposium or this Zoom conference would open dialogue and opportunities for interventions. Thank you very much and have a good interaction this morning.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Coach Samuel Pierre, for this other brilliant presentation and perspective of bringing some action in. So with no transition, the second panelist is Professor Rose Kofi Nevery. I will definitely appreciate reading a bio with everyone and then get it started. Great. So Professor Nevery was born on April 20th. So the year is missing. Anyway, she lives in Cocody Rivera, Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. She has 2 children, 1 daughter and 1 son. Rose is Catholic. As far as her profession is concerned, she is a senior professor in microbiology. She did supervise several master's degrees and more than 15 doctorate theses. She has 21 years of experience in teaching microbiology. Besides that, she is an expert trainer and senior consultant in gender and development. She is also responsible for the gender training program at UNESCO Water, Women and Decision-Making Chair in Côte d'Ivoire. Furthermore, Rose worked in the Ministry of Women, Families and Children, where she was the Director of Gender and Equity. Moreover, Professor Nevery would like to be an international coordinator in projects concerning projects concerning gender management. So, Professor Nevery, I will make you the host of the meeting so that you can share your presentation. Great, you're now the host.
She is the host now.
Yes.
Rose, you need to turn on your microphone, please.
On mute.
Okay. My microphone is on. I'm trying to share the screen.
Yes. We can hear you loud and clearly. Thank you.
So before Professor gets ready, I would like to say that the next panelist is Tetun Kajano. Yes, she is currently living in London, England, but she is originally from the United States. Yeah, and she has already visited Benin. Okay, anyway, I'll bring a bio in, just before she starts. And then after her, we will have the different contributors, and we will start with Professor Bogori Albare, who is a senior professor at the University Nangia Brogois. After that, we will have Mr. Bile Archie, who is also teaching at the University Nangia Brogwa, will have, all of them are from
Mr. Kone.
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Kone. Maybe Mrs. Kofi need a help to share.
I need a help to share.
Okay.
The screen.
So
I'm looking.
Do you have the document opened? Do you have your document open on the computer?
Yeah.
Okay, so click on the screen anywhere and you will see écran partagé down in green.
Yeah, I have partagé écran, yeah.
So you go now, if you have that done, you go now on the document itself. It should be on the screen there. And you click on it and you come right down, you click on share.
Can you see it? No.
You can send the document to me right now.
I guess, yeah, I send it to you.
You send? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me download and then, and then you have to give me back the status of host so that I can be able to share.
Who should give it to you? Me?
Yes, now.
No. How?
Okay, so you click on my picture, you will see 3 small buttons and you go through, you will see Nommé animateur.
Where is my picture? Reaction, register, partager, converser, participant, security.
No, you click on my picture first if you want me to share the screen.
Yeah, but I'm looking for my picture.
Oh, you don't see the screen where all the participants are?
Yeah.
You see?
I see participants.
No, the video, the pictures, the video.
I can see the pictures.
Okay, click on my picture.
Your picture?
Yeah, click on my picture. So if you click on my picture, you will see désactiver le son. And you will see 3 small buttons on your right, in blue. Okay,
yeah.
Click on that, those 3 small buttons, and you go through, you will see Nommé animateur.
Let me repeat. Mieux arrêté, épinglé. Nommé animateur, yeah.
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 Good.
Changer d'autre. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I'm now the host. I'm the master now.
Okay.
Good. So I will be sharing her presentation.
Yeah, it's a PowerPoint.
The PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, here you go. Okay. So, thank you, Coach Kone. Hello, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank you for associating me to this panel. I'm also happy to participate in this Amistad panel to address a subject I consider very important because essential to life. What is it about? It is about water, especially its management, which is both a problem and also a sustainable development issue. The objective is to understand water resources management in sustainable development accomplishments. So my intervention will be structured around 4 points in the form of question. The first will be why water resource is such an important problem. What is the water for? Then, why water resource management is important and how to manage water resources with the case of Côte d'Ivoire. So let's start with the first question. Why water resources are an important problem? To answer to this question, we start with the place of water in the Sustainable Development Global Goal. The Objective 6 of the Sustainable Development Goals ensure availability, sustainable management of water, and sanitation for all. This objective calls for action to achieve equitable access to water for all. Water resource, yeah, you can move on. Water resources are an important problem since water is related to development of all society and all the cultures around the world. Water is a development and existential issue. Regarding which we have just related, water could be a problem if it is not available to satisfy human use. The second question is, what is the use of water? The answer follows the first, of course. So if it is important to know that water resources are intrinsically linked to all dimensions of development, such as food security, households, human health, poverty reduction, and also while contributing to the growth of agriculture, industry, and energy production, washing hands, which is a good practice known a long time ago, but washing hands as often as possible with the COVID pandemic as recommended by the World Health Organization. So after the use of water, the different uses of water, the third question is, so why water resource management is important? In other words, why we should manage water. Okay, if the water resource is abundant globally, as we know, many countries and many rural people are in a situation greatly vulnerability because water is unevenly distributed in time and space. Drinking water is not always easy to access. This is why the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development said that the depletion of natural resources is among the most challenges of our time. Furthermore, the water resources management, Furthermore, the water resources management is important because of its usefulness and its exposure to pollution, since all of these uses have the potential to pollute freshwater resources. Most human, industrial, or agricultural wastewater is discharged into water bodies. Such pollution further can reduce the volume of the water available for human consumption and other use. Therefore, water can be considered as a limited resource. According to the UNDP, in 2017, more than 1 billion people don't have access to clean water. This means drinking water. This is a problem. Also, goods. You can move on. Good water management can generate income and contribute to poverty reduction. So this is one good reason we should manage water resources. And as the Sustainable Development Goal 6 is a key element of all the SDG, it's possible depletion leads to taking into account sustainability. Therefore, its management requires particular attention because it allows for the sustainability of water. The last question is how to manage water resources. This is the main question, how to manage. Because sometimes you want to manage, but we don't know what to do. But everyone can manage water, even at home. We can manage water. So let's talk about the common one. To manage water resources, we should all prevent, combat, limit, and avoid pollution of all kinds, since water pollution is strongly linked to human activities. This is the case of Bouaké, the second big town of Côte d'Ivoire, which knew since 1960, which means since the independence of Côte d'Ivoire, a water shortage for at least 6 to 8 months in 2018 due to illegal gold mining pollution. We should also recycle wastewater for agriculture irrigation. We should train and make population responsible for good water management. But the most important for me is the case study from Côte d'Ivoire. Indeed, in 2006, Côte d'Ivoire received an award from UNESCO for a project on the issue of water management. This project concerned the involvement of women and men in the management of improved village water systems, from designing to execution of works for sustainability of water in rural areas. The Côte d'Ivoire case study has been identified as good practice by UNESCO, which encourages its dissemination and transferability. Furthermore, to be effective in water management, several countries, including Côte d'Ivoire, have adopted integrated water resources management. Integrated water management requires good water management concerning the governance. And this management is based on a participatory of local actors, all the users, and the elected official in decision making. Integrating management and water management aims to ensure that water is managed sustainably for the environmental, social, and economic well-being of all by users. To finish, it is clear that sustainable management of water and sanitation is essential and contribute to eradicate poverty. And we should all realize this fact. Thank you for having me.
Great. Okay. So I was trying to unshare the screen. This took time. So yeah, congratulations, Professor Nevery, for this brilliant intervention. This is well done. Good. So we are happy to have, as usual, valuable panelists today, and those who have just been connected. We had the first panelist, who was Elge from Germany. Elge is our project manager since the beginning of this project of Amistad, and is a very hard-working man on the different issues of Amistad. So after Elge, we had Coach Samuel Pierre, who is in fact the holder of this whole vision of Amistad. And if you have the name of Amistad today, is just it has something about the story of Coach Samuel Pierre, who I shared the bio with you guys. There are a few minutes. So we have just heard from Professor Nevery. I said she is a senior professor at the second biggest university in Abidjan, and she is also working at UNESCO as on water resource management issues. So with no transition, I'm going to go to the last panelist, who is Tetum Cajano. So I will share the screen reading her bio before she starts. Good. Great. So Tetum is master degree student in gender, peace and security at London School of Economics and Political Science, originally from Indiana in the United States. She has also a background in linguistics and teaching and English teaching and acquisition. I stated earlier, she has already visited Benin, which is close to Cote d'Ivoire, and we are looking forward to see her in Cote d'Ivoire very soon. So, do you have something to share?
Yes, I do. Hello, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Mr. Kone. And thank you to Helge, Professor Rose, and also Coach Samuel. I really enjoyed everything that you had to share, and I feel like I learned a lot in what you all shared. So like Mr. Kone said, my name's Tatum Caggiano. I'm a master's student currently here in London studying gender, peace, and security. And I did my bachelor's in the States and studied linguistics. After I received my diploma in America, I then entered into the American Peace Corps, which is a volunteering organization. And through the Peace Corps, I moved to Benin, and I was in a northern area of Benin, and I loved it, and I miss it a lot. I was evacuated due to the COVID pandemic, and two major points that I would like to talk on, and both of them will be going off of what the previous panelists have shared as well, because they made very good points that I'd like to return back to. So first, I think in order to talk about land rights and also water rights, in Cote d'Ivoire and also around the world, it's important to acknowledge how colonialism has shaped how we talk about property and we talk about water resource management, and the laws that are still in place from the colonial era that their environments and also react to water resource issues. And so colonialism, sovereignty from the colonial powers. There are many facets of colonialism that are still here today that make it difficult for countries to really to find their own way and to have real true sovereignty, and that affects like property management and water resource management. And as Professor Kofi Nevery mentioned, gold mining and other extractive and exploitative processes that are done usually by the international community, by countries that don't have a home or a connection to places like Cote d'Ivoire or the DRC, for example. These happen frequently, and they have a really harmful impact on the local communities. And so that is something that we need to think about and find, brainstorm ways to figure out how we can return property rights to the local communities and find a way to keep exploitative international communities from taking advantage of the resources in Cote d'Ivoire, like the gold that is there, which these processes then led to the scarcity of water and like an effective drought for those people, as Professor Rose mentioned. And secondly, I want to bring up the topic of gender and gender inequity. I was so happy to hear that Professor Rose has an extensive career in this, and so I would love to talk to you later about this topic. But I think land management and water resource management is especially important in terms of how it can affect women and also men. And gendered subjects in general. Because as we know, in many societies around the world, women are responsible for doing things like gathering firewood, managing the family's water resources, feeding children and like other family members, and taking care of the elderly and the disabled and other people who are less able to care for themselves. This means that a lot of the harm that comes along with water scarcity disproportionately affects women as well, because it makes their daily life even harder. And this can, when they are in a position where water is less available, this can then lead to not being able to feed their families, not being able to provide necessary water resources to their families, which can then create domestic violence within the home when women are unable to fulfill the societal societal roles put upon them. Then they may experience violence by their partners or by other people in their families who are upset that they're unable to uphold these regulations or uphold these obligations and responsibilities that they have. And I think it's also important when we talk about gender and women and men and femininities and masculinities to remember that when we are talking about water resource management, or as this conference goes forward to take action, like Mr. Kone was saying, that the spaces that we create need to be inclusive and equitable. And so women need to be included in the process, men need to be included in the process, and also different ethnic groups need to be included so that everyone can really have a voice, because as it has been mentioned several times, everyone is affected by water scarcity. Everyone is affected by maybe inequitable property laws. And so everyone needs to be included in finding a solution to these problems. I also want to highlight what Helge said about cooperation between groups, because I think this goes into this inclusive nature of decision-making and collaboration, and that's why this conversation is so lovely, because it's different people from different areas coming together and sharing their opinions and sharing their knowledge and expertise. And that's exactly what an equitable decision-making space would look like in terms of managing water resources in the future. And I also want to go back to the 3 pillars that Coach Samuel shared with knowledge, attitude, and behavior. I think those are all really important, and I really appreciate you bringing that up. And I think one thing that we can look at is through behavior is land and water rights, which is something that was also mentioned. Because it's my understanding that in Côte d'Ivoire, women do have the right to property. But it's also, in my research, I found that in many societies around the world, even when the law is there and women technically have land rights, culturally, they may not be given them. So should a woman divorce from her husband, or should her husband die, she would then not gain any, she would not then receive the property that was previously under his name. It would maybe go to his family members, his parents, or even skip her and go to his children, and she would be left without rights. And so this might not be codified in law, but it's cultural, and that's something we need to consider when we're talking about property and water resource management, is who is allowed to have land, who is allowed to have a say, and who is given really the chance to own water or to own land, which are questions that were brought up earlier by the other panelists. And so I think I'll just close by saying climate change, as Helge mentioned, is having a lot of impacts on our world. And climate change is both gendered and located. The actions of large capitalistic corporations in the global north, in Europe and America, are having impacts on the global south. And like the actions of the global north are creating harm for the global south in terms of global climate change. Because it's mostly the global south who is experiencing the more harmful effects of climate change, and water scarcity, droughts, and flooding is one of them. So I think as we go forward, it's important to give a voice to the local communities and make sure that the communities who are affected by water scarcity are given a voice, and that women especially are given a place and an opportunity to speak at decision-making tables and groups. So thank you very much for sharing this time with me and inviting me here. And I'm excited to hear about the ideas and opinions of everyone else here in this conference.
Great again. So congratulations, Stetson, for your intervention. And again, thank you for contributing today. I met Stetson, there is almost a month, almost 2 months, because she's also working, on a project for women training in Abobo in the sector of restoration. So I am, kind of helping her to find some element of information on that project. So thank you for being here, and then we hope that you will be part of Amistad, for the rest of the activities. Good. So in our program, we had the intervention of the panelists, and then after we had the interventions of the contributors. Contributors are those who can bring their ideas in with a small, contribution time, and we listed them. The first contributor to intervene is Professor Bogri from the University Nangui Brogwa, the second biggest university of Cote d'Ivoire. So I will give the privilege to Professor to introduce himself. Maybe we've opened the video. Okay, the video is on. So Professor will introduce himself first, and then we will have his contribution.
Okay. Good afternoon. By WhatsApp. I'm very happy to be here, and I would like to thank Amistad and the managers of Amistad to give us this opportunity to talk about this situation. To introduce me, I am Albarin Boukri. I am a senior professor at, my specialty is nutrition and food science. And I made my PhD in France, Nancy. And here I teach nutrition science and technology. And currently I am a consultant on fortification, food fortification at World Food Program of Cote d'Ivoire. So I would like to give my small opinion concerning this topic, water management. We know that water is very, very important for humanity, and the World Health Organization estimates that investment in water and sanitation service has the potential for substantial returns, like in order to $5 to $28 invested. So we know that water is life, water is health, water is nature, water is urbanization, water is industry, water is energy, water is food, water is equality. You see that water is life. To summarize, water is life. So we need to preserve waters. If we see the climate change in the world, we will see that water will miss. So with development of countries and the global development of population around the world, the use of waters became very, very important. So there are pressure on already water resource. So population growth and development are accompanied by urbanization, food, and energy security policy. So we have situation in which water using is very, 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 we are to be careful to use water. So we can see that evidence shows that climate change is hitting the atmosphere and increasing overall evaporation rate. Unfortunately, we can see that in African countries, that there is still not enough awareness of this reality. For example, we see in the cities of Africa, like I can see, for example, Abidjan, there are, for a small example, there are a car wash points in every point on Abidjan. Even if there is no water, the car is washing every day, and water is waste. I think that this kind of system can be recycled, so we can reuse this water, for example. So this is a waste of water in this kind. Also, in the domestic way, in our house, we don't care using water. We use water in any kind of system, and when we go to take our bath, we put water in a bucket, and we don't use this water enough, and we continue to live in this system. So I can say that for me, water system is very important to be used in any kind of our life. Humanity must manage water best. So that is my opinion, and I would like to thank you to hear me. I think that with my English, which is very, very, I don't know, basic, I think you are hearing me, and thank you.
Thank you too.
It's very good, actually. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, Professor, this English is not basic anymore. You are presenting on an international platform. So, and I think everybody understood what you said. Eh? So
thank you.
Yes.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on that. Congratulations.
Thank you, teacher. Thank you, coach.
You know, giving.
And I great Samuel P, our coach. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
the coach of coaches.
The coach of coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Samuel.
Yeah, Prof. Let's stay. Okay, please.
Good. So thank you, Professor, for your contribution. And you know, we will directly go to the next person, the next panelist, the next contributor, who is Dr. Bile. Dr. Bile Atu, he is also professor at Nangui Abrogwa University of Abidjan. Are you there?
Yes, Mr. Kode.
Great.
Yeah, Bile, we want to see you. Dear Bile, we want to see you. You can put your camera. Yeah, thank you.
Great.
Yeah, great.
Hello. Okay.
Connection is not very good.
Yeah, the connection is not doing well. All right.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Hello, we hear you.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Kone.
Yes.
I would like to thank you to join me to this wonderful meeting. I'm very proud for my colleague student, Professor Nevery, for his presentation, and Professor Buguri for his contribution. So thank you to all of them. I'd like to make my contribution in one point. Is the point of property. The property, I think that for me, a property is an important point, and natural resources don't have to be owned by individuals. For me, land for agriculture, for example, have to be owned by the people who are living in the environment of this land, but not to be sold. And the real property for me is intellectual property. Intellectual property, that is the real property for people, for individuals. But natural resources couldn't be owned by individual because their property calls sometimes inequality property. So is my contribution. I like to understand all the point of view in this workshop, and I'm sorry for my poor English, and I'd like to improve it day by day and to be more better. Okay.
Very good, Brother Lionel.
Okay, thank you.
We all understood what you meant very well.
Okay, thank
Mr.
you.
Kone, your phone is on mute, Mr. Kone.
I'm sorry. No, I was just saying that this is not a poor English, as we are all able to understand what you are saying, And this is the purpose of communication. Of course, we will help you improve this English, as you really want to do so. So congratulations on this contribution. And I think, we are having a wonderful time. So right after Professor Bide, we are going to have the following contributor, who is Lionel from Ghana. Lionel is basically an Ivorian, but now living in Ghana for his, in Ghana for the studies. So you can introduce yourself and then start, Lionel. Where has he gone? Oh, he's out. So maybe we go with the following contributor. And the following contributor is Abiba. Abiba, I have the bio of Abiba, but I don't know if I have to read or she can introduce herself. What do you want?
You can read it, please.
I can read it. Okay, so I will read it. Good.
Thank you.
So I will share my screen. Good. Born on the 4th of May, 1996, and raised in Cote d'Ivoire, Abiba Kone holds a bachelor's degree in sociology. Her desire to contribute to the well-being of her community makes her wish to become a project monitoring and evaluation expert in the nonprofits world. Currently taking part in an extremely selective international exchange program in the United States, she finds in the United States, in Virginia, the United States, she finds time volunteering and supporting her host community. Her willingness to grow takes her from early childhood education to data analysis classes. In her free time, she travels and tries new exciting dishes. So this is Abiba Kone.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure being right here with you. Would you please like to give me Thank you so much. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Yes. So thank you very much. Today, we'll take you through the first pillar that our coach Samuel mentioned, knowledge. So we have various ways to get knowledge. And right now, as Mr. Kone mentioned, I'm taking part in the Community College Initiative Program. You might wonder what it is. It's a program, an exchange program funded by the Department of State and executed by Northern Virginia Community College. So in this program, we value education, mutual understanding, and community. So it's a place where people from different backgrounds comes together and learn together. So I'm going to talk about the advantages of this program, the field of studies, the eligibility requirements, and some other exchange programs that everyone can take part in. So some advantages of the program I'm in right now is a round trip from my participant home country, so from Ivory Coast to the United States. Then I have right to tuition and college fees that are entirely taken in charge. Also housing and meal, I don't have to care about any of those. I have allowance for food, materials, and other expenses. In addition to that, we have a medical coverage and a variety of personal and professional development activities. And I think that this comes very in a special moment where our coach still mentioned in his first fundamental element, that's knowledge. So having the ability to go for free to get knowledge and come back and give it back to our community is amazing. Here are some fields of training. So the first one is agriculture. We have applied engineering. We also have business management and administration. Right now I'm doing early childhood education. So this is in my field. We also have information technology, which is well known as IT. We have media, public safety. We also have tourism and hospital management. So those are some training that you can be getting when you are eligible for this program. So it takes us to the eligibility criteria requirements. So for the CCI, the eligibility requirements are as follows: to be currently residing in one of the eligible countries, to be 18 years old or older by July 1st, 2022, sorry. Then successfully earn a secondary school diploma, which is known in Côte d'Ivoire as BAC or baccalaureate. And then we have some basic writing. You have to have some basics in English language. So this is a key point because everything that you will be doing will be in English. You will be interacting with people in English from different countries: Indonesia, South Africa, Colombia, Bangladesh, India. So all those countries, people that comes from those countries cannot speak French. So I wonder how things will go if I start speaking French instead of speaking English with them. So you are not getting to understand each other, definitely. So here, update consulting played a very big role within my training because I've learned a lot thanks to Mr. Kone's dynamic team. So I encourage anyone in the field that wish to apply for any exchange program to get started because it's a fundamental for us to be eligible for those kind of incredible programs. Next, we have to not have a master's degree. So you should be at least having maximum your bachelor degree. If you have a master's degree, you cannot be eligible for the CCI program. So you will maybe wonder, why are you presenting this? Because I'm not filling any of those criteria. It's fine. We have many other programs that are exchange programs that you can take part in and develop your educational and your knowledge aspect. The first one is YALI, and Mr. Kone can say more about it as he's himself an alumni from this program. We have, as we have seen during this presentation, some professors who might be interested in the scientific exchange. So those opportunities are out there, right there for you to just grab, go get it and come back and help your community with this kind of very pragmatic thematic that we have, such as water resource management. Then on the second link, you are going to, the first link, sorry, you are going to see more requirement and more details about the CCI program itself. If you are not eligible, that doesn't mean that maybe your children is not eligible. It doesn't mean that your nephew cannot take part. So it's always good to take a look at it, share with people you think that might feel the profile. Even if they don't feel it right now, with time, it can be possible. So just give it a try. And the last link gives you an exhaustive list of more than 20, let's say 100 exchange programs that are out there. Some are not eligible for certain countries. However, I still invite you to take a look at each of them, find which one you like, which one feel your interest, so that you can get ready and apply as soon as it opens again. So this takes me to the next slide. Do you have any question about what I've just mentioned? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Abiba. Yes.
Yes.
I did not understand. Maybe I was not listening well, but I'm a little bit unsure. What is USAID Fulbright as an organization? Can you explain this once more, please?
Are you talking about this slide?
Correct, yes.
Okay. You say the Fulbright is a program. It's an exchange program that allows, this one is different from the one I'm doing right now, that allows people from different countries to come into the United States and pursue a master's degree or a PhD degree. So for this one, you have to fulfill some requirements again, have a master's degree, be very fluent in English, as your courses are going to be in English. And I will share these slides with Mr. Kone so that he can share with everyone. Please take a time, go to those websites, and for each program, you will have an exhaustive details about some alumni that will tell you what their experience was and what you can get out of it. So be open and be curious. This is going to help us definitely getting the knowledge needed for everyone to be, for Africa and other countries and continents to be able to successfully manage some basic problems that we have, such as water resource management and so on.
That's very good. That's very good.
Thank you.
I think exchange of knowledge and studies in other countries is the basis to improve the situation everywhere. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. You are welcome. So it was a pleasure meeting you all. And I hope that you will take a look at this program and just, if you can't apply, share it with your friends. They will definitely get something out of it. It's such a pleasure being with all of you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want this pen.
Oh, okay, don't worry, I'll bring it to you. I'm coming back soon, don't worry.
Great.
Should I make you the host again?
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. And yes, of course, Abiba is on a program, on a wonderful program called the CCIP in the state now. And normally the program is 9 months, but this time I think they are having only 5 months, and then they will be back very soon. So congratulations on sharing this information. And I think this is what Coach Samuel Pierre said in his presentation. We need to have knowledge, attitude, and good behavior for a good transformation of our society. So you are going to get, knowledge, good attitude, experience, and come to serve, our global community. So congratulations on your selection, and we are looking forward to seeing you soon and share more experience with some more, people in need.
Yeah,
Good. So with no transition, we'll now go back to Lionel, who is back now. So Professor,
yeah,
you want to say?
Yeah, I would like to talk to Abiba. I don't know if she can share the presentation in our email after this conference. That will be good for us. And the conference with Samuel and Professor Nevery too, that will be good for us. Thank you.
You're welcome. I will do that. I will just share it with Mr. Connie so that he can easily share it with all of us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will be able to share the presentation of
You're welcome.
Here, the presentation of certainly Professor Nevery and Abiba. Certainly Elge is going to share his, so that I can share it also with everyone. Good. So with that being said, I had already introduced Lionel Lionel, who is currently in Ghana for his studies, but originally from Ivory Coast. So Lionel. You are muted. You are muted. Your microphone is not working.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay. Hello, everyone from Ivory Coast. From Ivory Coast. Everyone, I want to thank you, Sir Kone.
I was not able to.
It was my first. I took my flight over there for English, but right now I'm in Ghana doing a master degree in finance statistics. Very happy to join you on this panel. And property perception on realities. I want to greet all the professors. I want to greet all the participants and contributors. For the first idea I have on property is something will belong to someone. So, real estate, when you heritage from your parents or something, you have a land, or you also such as kind of properties. And when you build your house, or when you have a car, when you have anything you belong to you is your property. And then I'm wondering, is property real property? Like, what is the real meaning of property? Because of property, you can get easy when you get a satisfaction from this property. Can call it property, because if you don't get what you belong to you, it's like these things you use it for nothing. And then when you have something and you get satisfaction from it. So I can take an example from many countries, African country properties like resources, but that don't get any satisfaction. This is my first step. I wanted to define property, and then realities and perception is something others think, or those around you, what they're thinking, what is the mind of people about resources and water management, and also the perception is what also people think, and the realities is like what you see real in life, what is happening really really in life. We can see here in our countries, we have a lack of water. We're struggling with water. And maybe here in Ghana, for example, we don't drink water from pipe. You see, we don't drink water from pipe. And then we have to buy the water, like the mineral water. But not the same in Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire, the water is straight as well. You can drink from the pipe. So here in Ghana, you have to buy the water. So
all in the mind. If you hear the business people who have changed everybody.
And the country Africa is
water. You have to buy.
In fact, 6 years ago. So I was saying that the perception for the water issue is a current aspect of our daily quotidian. So I want now to jump on the water resource management. What is a water resource management? I think here if they want, the topic want to ask us, how can we manage water? How can we keep water, like maybe someone and then waste the water. You can say that how to keep water, or how to not pollute water. Also, we can jump about this idea. We can talk about the environment and the climate change. Those things have an impact on the water resources. So just to manage the water resources, we are maybe to build some laws or some regulation to protect the water, and maybe I don't know, the institution to find a decree to reduce against the water pollution. And also, what is the water influencing by COVID-19? Is it water 19? We have maybe waste of water, because people used to use more water more than before with COVID, because whenever you go, wherever you go, you have to wash for. I don't know if you guys have some. I will notice this, because and then now is it the water is it the quantity of water used is more than now. I don't know. I want to take I want to start study on it, because I'll come up with this result and show you. I want to thank you for this panel, and I want.
Great.
Great, everyone. And thank you.
Great, Lionel, for your intervention. So the panelists all spoke, and the contributors, we had some few, but not all of them will be able to speak again, because we are almost close to the end of the meeting, as it is scheduled for only 2 hours. But after the intervention of Lionel, we are going to open the questions now. The questions, so the questions can come from everywhere. So whoever wants to, have further clarification on one of the aspects of the different, interventions, we can definitely ask that question to the person you want. So yes, you just need to raise the hand, and I think there is a button on the application, which we can show the hand, and to say that you want to ask a question, you want to add up something on somebody's intervention. Yes, yes, Leonel, you want to say something? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I want to touch on Samuel Pierre for his intervention, but I want to know more about what you raise, what's WORC.
He
wants to go deeply.
WORC. So this question is to Coach Samuel. So Coach Samuel, Leonel is asking, what is the WORC?
The project you want to do about the water.
Thank you, Lionel. WORC is Water Optimization in Rural Communities. I like the fact that you saying in Ghana, people drink bottled water. And in Ivory Coast, you guys still drink from taps and stuff like that. You see, that's where knowledge becomes very important. Knowledge is the perceptions, knowledge is facts, knowledge is realities that you get either from reading or from traveling or your own personal experience. And, you know, America is at a point where even though most of their pipes are in good shape, but yet still the business, somebody who wanted to make some money started bottling water. And now most homes in America, people rather drink bottled water. So if we want to really address the issues in most African countries, since most of 80% or so of the communities don't have access to safe water and sanitation services, we need to just see how we can use the resources we have, the water systems or the water supply underground or the rainwater, how we can maximize the benefits and the use of it. Instead of us starting to bring in bottled waters, let us address the issues that we have in Africa. And we can be in better position for the future.
Great.
Lionel, is that enough?
Lionel, does this answer your preoccupation? All right, he has an issue.
I wanted just to know because about it's okay, it's okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
It's okay because he said it's a project, but
so Lanzare and Elge have the hands up. We start with Lanzare and then after Elge.
I would like to thank all the panelists and the contributor. When I listen to all the panelists, it's clear that the problem of water resources management is a lack of education. So we raise, let's say, awareness. What I would like to ask to Professor she gave some example when she was gave her presentation. What I would like to know is in Côte d'Ivoire here, there is, let's say, how to say it, is there some organization who, let's say, teach or who educates about water management, who can give some awareness about water management? I ask this question because if there is such organization, we can, let's say, join this organization. I want to say Amistad, join this organization to help to educate population, to help to educate, to awareness our population, to reach, let's say, water resources management. So if Professor can, some organization who, let's say, work in this sense to educate or to.
All right, so I think this question is addressed to Professor Nevery. I hope Professor got the question. Did you get the question?
Yeah. I
Do
got
we have
the question.
An organization addressing the question of water here in Côte d'Ivoire? I think that was the question, Lanzare, right?
Yeah, I got the question.
Good.
What I can say is that our institution, the UNESCO chair for water, women, and decision-making is specialized in water and gender. And this organization educates rural people, especially rural people, to manage, how to manage water. This deals with the rural water system, like hydraulic pump, how to use it. And what I said, this was a good practice recognized by UNESCO. And some ministries in Côte d'Ivoire apply this kind of good practices so that in rural area, people can always have safe water. Because as you know, in these areas, I mean rural areas, sometimes when the government go to this area and they give them the hydraulic pump, there is no following of the pump. If it doesn't work, they don't know how to get safe water again. Because most of the time, the pump is governed by men. And the basic thing is that the management should be done both by women and men. And when we have the project and we implemented the project in the rural area, all this rural area where the project has been implemented, they have income, well income, and they have money because they are trained on how for the maintenance of the pump, even for women, not men only. Men and women both should know how the maintenance of the pump and things like that. So when they have money, and you know that with this pump in rural area, it's not, women can get this water, but not for free. They have to pay something. It doesn't cost money, but they need to pay something. And when they pay something, this money should be managed by both men and women. And when women are involved in the management, I can say that this is a very good practice, and government is trying is trying for the transferability of the good practice in all area in Côte d'Ivoire. So Amistad can join UNESCO chair, so that we can work together.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. So
is that clear?
Answer your.
Thank you, Professor Rose.
Yeah.
It's okay for me.
Great.
Okay.
So we have
President, can I respond to just a comment on Professor Rose's presentation and the question?
Oh, okay. So then before Elge.
Please, okay. No, UNESCO was founded in 1945. The world agreed that water decade from 1980 to 1990, that the whole world would have access to safe water and sanitation. That 10-year went by and nothing happened. in West Africa, okay? I just want us to really look at our knowledge base, that is our perceptions, our realities and facts, and let's really evaluate very honestly our attitude. Does this have a mutual appreciation? Do we have a mutual appreciation for each other? Do we have mutual respect? Do we advocate for mutual benefits in the things that we are doing or the policies that we are setting? And do we take those knowledge and attitude into practical ways of building, extracting, trading, cultivating, managing our resources, our properties? These are questions we really need to seriously identify and understand so that we can move to another level. Otherwise, 60 years has passed and we are still doing that. We cannot even tolerate each other. In Cameroon, the Francophone Cameroon and the Anglophone Cameroon are killing each other. This is real. In America, the African Americans and the European Americans are still targeting each other, killing each other. We need to be very sincere and honest as we go forward. And I think I want you to look at the movie Amistad and to understand what Amistad is all about. There are diverse people who were against slavery and diverse people who came together. And I'm glad one of Ms. Tatum, here you're from Indiana. I did my undergraduate in Indiana at University of Indianapolis, and hopefully we'll connect. And I'm glad to know that you have traveled, you've been to Africa, you've been, you know, our experiences should provide some motivation for us to advocate for mutual benefit, mutual understanding, mutual respect. This women and men situation, I know we have been so indoctrinated. We talk about layman, he's a layman. Well, how about lay women? We talk about amen. What about all women? You know, in certain ways, we do things that have constantly divided us. So let's be mindful of that for the future. Okay, thank you.
Right. We still have 4 minutes to close up. So I guess this will be at the same time the closing notes, the closing remark of Elge before I give the floor for 1 minute to each of the panelists to say something so that we can close.
Okay, thank you very much, Musa. Thank you very much for all contributors and panelists. And I am really amazed how much interest water resources are bringing up over this world, all around the world. And I'd like to add one point that I like to clear up from my person as an engineer. And this underlines what Samuel said as well. We have to invest our policy, money, and knowledge into two processes. Water management is divided into two processes. The first process is how to get the water into the ground. And everybody might think this is a normal process. We have no influence on this process, but this is the process what mankind has most influence on more than ever before. And this is how the water gets into the lakes, is kept in floods, in the rivers, and how the water as a resource is kept keep the water in the ground and to collect it in the ground before we can take it from the ground back. And then we can build springs and wells, because if there's no water anymore in the ground, the wells and the springs will be empty I'm talking about just my own village. We are building a fast road here and some big buildings for industry, and they lowered down the water level. And just now this year, after some trees have died and even fell on the street and there were some accidents, then the government decided we have to rise up the level of the water resources again. And it is possible if you know how to do it. So it changed very fast. And now I have my water in the cellar. I don't like that, but I know it is very, very essential for our nature. So I just like to add one from the ground to the people, and both are a question of property, of policy, and of peace. What Samuel said as well, how to bring people together to keep the water as a goal for us. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you a lot.
Great, great. So I would like to thank everyone for his participation. This is the closing remark note of Helge. At the same time, we had 2 hours of debate, and I will have, again, the privilege to give back the floor to each of the panelists to say the last word before we close this session. So we go directly to Tetun.
Thank you. Again, thank you so much for letting me share some thoughts on gendered vulnerabilities and things in this discussion. I've really learned a lot, and I'm so grateful to everyone who shared their voice and shared their thoughts. And I'm looking forward to the future of Amistad, and I'm looking forward to learning more as a collective group together. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tintin. So we go to Professor Nevery. Professor Nevery.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you, Coach Kone. Thank you, the coach. And I'd like to really thank you for having created Amistad, which help us communicate with you. And I want to invite you to join the UNESCO Integrated Water Management to understand and also work for the construction and co-management of our water resources. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Professor, for being on board in this wonderful panel. Coach Samuel.
I just want to say thank you to every one of you who participated in this discussion and exchange. I want to sincerely encourage all of us to accept each other with respect and dignity. Language should not be a divider. Language should be a unifier. Let us try to understand and appreciate each other in spite of our differences. And I hope we will pay great attention on who owns property in our world. That we also think of what are they using the property for? Is it for selfish or profit alone, or is it for human development? Let us question who is getting maximum benefit from the property that is available to all of us. Let us ask questions. Is there fair trade benefit for all partners in any transaction, whether the light or water readily accessible to the public? And what are some examples of property and usage? Let's really look at water and sunlight. Africa is so blessed with sunlight. Africa is so blessed with water. But how are we going to use that water to improve our health, our wealth, and our livelihoods? I hope we continue to be very, very mindful of those questions. Don't be bashful, don't be insultive, but just respect each other's idea. Have a good weekend.
Great. So I'm telling you, this was an exceptional discussion and we learned a lot from each and every one of you. So I am blessed to be here and I think everybody is. And the question that is coming to my mind now is, can we do something? Can we do something as we speak? Can we do something? It's important to share ideas as we have just made, but I think it would be very important to join together and bring a concrete action in favor of our underprivileged community. And this is the reason why Amistad has been founded. So this is a reflection that I want every one of us to have in the coming days, and certainly we'll come back with proposals to every one of us so that we can bring something in out of this discussion. So Amistad, as I stated earlier, Coach Samuel.
Go ahead, finish.
So Amistad, as I stated earlier, is an organization put in place during the pandemic of COVID-19. And we had already several discussions on different topics related to COVID and some other topics. So people are from different countries around the world, and we bringing together wonderful ideas already so that we can participate in improving lives in our respective communities. But we're aiming at also bringing together some actions to help that community or those communities to practically improve their lives. So this is the essence of creation of Amistad. So I hope that the discussion of today will help us reach out to that objective. And as we are all experienced, we are all valuable people that can make valuable contributions in that. So we'll be looking forward to the next point, which will be a concrete action. So Coach is going to have the privilege to conclude everything and say goodbye to everyone. Yes.
Thank you. I am proposing that we have an invitation to UNESCO, EPA, UN, WHO, CDC, UNDP, the universities in Ivory Coast or in Cote d'Ivoire, to really meet and plan a forum where we'll invite representatives from Francophone countries and Anglophone countries to meet in Abidjan. Abidjan, you are the leader, potential leaders for Africa, believe me. You call diverse group of institutions and really address the need for water. Let's talk to Professor, Doctor, who works for the UNESCO. Let's talk to the professors to engage their principals or principalities of the universities in Ivory Coast, and Yali and Abiba, the graduates of foreign relations programs, and let's really put some dates, identify maybe countries in an Anglophone speaking country, communities in a Francophone country to address a water problem, a model water problem. Thank you again and have a blessed day. God bless you.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you for participating in this wonderful discussion. See you soon. Have a wonderful and gorgeous weekend. Bye for now. Bye for now.
Bye, Mr. Kofi. Bye all.